Welcome to Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, a podcast dedicated to commercial food equipment repair industry. My name is Pat Finley. I'm a lead master certified technician at General Parts Group and a certified special trainer. My goal is to shine a light on what I believe to be one of the most interesting and rewarding industries a field service technician can work in. I love the work I do, and I'm glad you're here listening to this podcast. In this episode, we have Omar Rodriguez with Smart Care in Las Vegas, Nevada. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. This week, we have Jason, Rich, myself, and with very special guest, Omar Rodriguez. Omar is a pretty cool dude. I followed him on LinkedIn for a while, and he's out there killing it. He touches stuff I refuse to touch. I see him tearing apart a Hobart mixer the other day, and I was pretty impressed. So, welcome to the show, Omar. How are you?
Thank you. Good. Thanks for having me. I'm good.
That's good. So, I cornered you a couple weeks ago and asked you if you wanted to come on. You said you were pretty camera shy, and we won't hold that against you. I'm not an outgoing person. This internet thing's a lot different than real life for me most of the time. So it's fun. We just have fun and cut up, and no big deal. So
Right.
So anybody do anything crazy or fun this week?
Well,
No.
I'm medicated, ready for surgery on Friday, and I'm just trying to get by. I got some PMs I'm going to do tomorrow and help out in the field a little bit, and then I'm done. I'm have surgery on Friday, and I'm off till like the 20th, so I can recover for half that time, and the other half is going to be a little staycation. I got some HOA issues. I gotta remedy myself, like painting my driveway and planting a tree in the front yard, like literally, that good old stuff.
You're not compliant.
And I'm
actually on the HOA board, So
Wow.
I'm on a committee, so
Yeah.
no one's exempt.
And I'm just trying to refrain from doing or saying anything that can be used against me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been there way too many times, man. I'm a passionate person, and I like to type and send stuff out before I think about it. And it's come back to haunt me a couple times, and even Jason will be like, "Hey, Pat, come on, go ahead, take that down, bud."
Yeah, nobody was there for me this week.
Yours is good.
Well, you were expecting the wrong two people to be there for you. Like your post was like not even close to the stuff me and Pat like to let out there. So I don't know what you were expecting from us, bro. Sorry.
I thought it was good. I was like, man, this guy, he's putting it out there. He's showing what he wants. I mean, hey,
That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, this is a cool thing. All right, I like it. He's trying to do stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Omar? You worked on anything fun or cool this week?
Just a bunch of fryers, some old new views, mini medium-sized ovens. Got some rationales in the making, so I'm on that tomorrow. Like I mentioned to you earlier off the air, I was doing some software updates, so I'm going to be doing a couple of CMPs tomorrow at a Raiders stadium, so that's going to be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always love it when the stadiums buy like the CMPs. I'm like,
why exactly?
I'm like, spend the extra $1,000 per unit and get a touchscreen. Like
get a Wii or an Icon Pro or something. But
even the regular Icon versus Icon Pro, I'm like, why? Just spend a little bit of extra money, because
right.
I guess it is money, but on my end, it's like the Icon Pro is so much easier to work on versus the Icon. The CC Wii is so much easier to work on versus the CMP, because you're not getting in there and turn the dial and all that crap. So
no, the CMPs are a whole nother entity on their own, man. You got to mess with the dip switches and go to your cheat sheet, and it's just you already know how it is.
Dude, it's frustrating. So I asked you a few questions before you came on, and you've been doing this, you said, since 1999.
Yes.
And you started off as a part runner. So
I did.
You want to break down like how you got to where you are now for us?
Well, let's back up to 99. I was looking for a career change because I was in construction, fresh out of high school, and in 99 I was in my early 20s. So I ran into a friend of mine that at the DMV that was renewing my license, and he had a business fixing tortilla ovens. So he hired me on the spot. He said, if you want a job, you get your license all settled in. I'll hire you as a parts runner. And I was doing that. And then that evolved into bakery equipment. And I started doing teardowns and PMs on bakery equipment. See, back in '99, the bakery equipment industry was their own entity. It was separate from commercial kitchen equipment. And I had no clue what the kitchen equipment was until I found out about Cepesa, and then I started looking into it, and that's how I got into it. But yeah, I was building ovens. A lot of teardowns, a lot of installs, Sam's Club, your typical supermarket chain. So Costco, a lot of Hobart, a lot of Baxter, a lot of Revent, a lot of Lux. Lux. Those are old names. Baker's Aid, Baker's Pride. Yeah. So that's how it started.
Nice. I've done some oven work. We used to take care of. Well, when I used to work at GCS years ago, we took care of a grocery store chain, and they all had Hobarts, their bakery ovens. We did their proofers, their bakery ovens, stuff like that. It was always cool to work on because, you're climbing on top of it or whatever, it was different. It was fun. And that's really why I like this job. You're always doing something different. It's not the same thing every single day.
Right.
But the bakery ovens are cool. Now, we actually, about 5-6 years ago, we went to a grocery store and broke down a unit and actually installed a new unit, built it. That was quite the endeavor because we had to do it at night. So we went in the first night, tore the old one apart, got the new one in place, and went back second night, finished it all up. So that was fun, but man, if you don't do that every day, it's quite an undertaking. I imagine.
It's a different animal, but all the components are the same. I mean, it's got the same burner as a Middleby Marshall and an old Logic pizza. It's Lincoln, same Wayne burner that they use, same in the bakery ovens, man. So I adapted really good on the commercial kitchen side when it was time. So it was all the same components, man.
So how long did you do the oven thing before you jumped ship and decided it was time to start doing everything else?
About 5 years. I went to work for a Cepesa company in 2004. So yeah,
that's cool.
It's been in it ever since.
So you're in the Las Vegas area, so I imagine you work at some pretty crazy places.
We do. Las Vegas is one of the biggest restaurant industries in the country. Right now, it's pretty crazy though because they have the F1 Formula One this thing going on. It don't even look like Las Vegas. I'm telling you right now.
It's a nightmare trying to get around all that crap.
Yeah, it's bad.
We had the Super Bowl here, I think it was 2012, and you had to go down there and work, but you had to be you could only go in there between the hours of 4 and 10, 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. So you had to go in there and work, and they'd come get you on a golf cart, bring you into wherever you were going. You'd work, and then by 10 o'clock they were shipping you out. It was just absolutely nuts. I couldn't imagine trying to get into some of these casinos or anything else because they're running the race right down the strip, aren't they?
They are. It's a good 3 miles, maybe 2 miles on the strip that they're going to have blocked off. They're even putting barriers on the pedestrian bridges so people without a ticket you can't see the race.
Wow.
It's a serious thing, man. They're not playing.
That's cool.
Yeah. They're building custom-made bleachers and VIP houses on the strip that they're going to have to tear down when this is over. So it's mind-blowing.
Holy crap.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Sweet. So currently you just do hot sides. You don't do any refrigeration, but I've seen you tear into Hobart mixers, and that blows my mind because I've always that was one thing I never got involved in. I've done some timers, some contactors, nothing major.
Right.
And, I see you had that one all tore apart, repacked it with grease. Man, I don't know if I have the patience for that kind of stuff.
Man, that was fun. I mean, I had a.
You said fine or fun?
It was fun. It was both.
It was both.
Like I said, I've done those before when I was in the bakery industry because we did a lot of Hobart 80 core, 100 core mixers. We used to build them. But this one was a little tiny countertop unit. It was fun. It was, we took our time. I had an assistant. I had a guy with me that helped me out. We separated every single gear, laid it down on sequence, how it goes, made sure we cleaned it out real good, and we put it all back together after we replaced all the seals, and it worked out, man. It worked out. Everything went smooth that day. So we were blessed that day.
Good.
So was that a newer mixer or an older one or what?
It wasn't that old. It was a couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years old. Okay. But it was leaking through the planetary. They were getting grease in their product, so it had to be done.
Yeah, I used to work on the older ones. One of the places I worked when I was in Florida, we used to rebuild them every time like the gears, tore up and all that stuff, because you had Hobart and they were Hobart, and then nobody else really wanted to mess with Hobart.
Yeah.
And me and my boss one time was like, somebody brought down a mixer to the shop. I'm like, I'll try it. I mean, like, it's already broken. I can't make it no worse. And then we ripped it apart, and we had an aftermarket supplier that had the exact gears, the same quality, same weight as Hobart's. And we used to we did one, and then word got out that we rebuilt them for like half the price that Hobart charged. And we were rebuilding them suckers all the time. Those were fun. The newer stuff I don't mess with because, well, just because. We'll leave it at that.
The newer stuff is actually easier because there's no gears. It's all speed control. It's an AC drive. So you don't have first, second, and third, fourth gear anymore. It's just an AC drive that the motor spins slower or faster. So
okay.
Those the new legacy ones, they're a lot easier to work on.
Oh. Yeah, I've got a school that's got an old one, and planetary's leaking, and I started tearing into it. I was like, nope, I'm not going to do this. They remodeled the other school, so they brought the other schools over, and the other school got a new one. So it's sitting out on the dot. But I did one once, man, and I didn't get too far into it, but I put it was a cup washer, but I put it in backwards. I didn't know it. And it wouldn't run. It just sit there and click.
Mm-hmm.
And like some guys and I talked to the guy, he's like, oh no, he's like, how far did you get into it? I told him, he said, there's a washer, it's upside down. It's supposed to be, a cup up or cup down. I forget what it was. Tore it apart, flipped that back over, and put it back together, and took right off. I was like, how was that one little washer doing all that damage? I was like, I'm done with these things never again.
Understandably.
Just don't have the patience for it, man. I get that way a lot of times.
Right.
So, what's your favorite thing to work on?
I'm a steamer guy, man. I like steamers.
Yeah, I seen your post about the Cleveland. That brought back memories, man. I haven't done one in years, but when I used to work at GCS, I used to always tear those things apart. I had a lot of schools that had them. Condensate nozzles get clogged. I don't know how bad the water is in Vegas, but the water
is the worst in the country.
Is it?
Yeah, one of the worst.
Really? Ours, I post a picture of something, and people are like, "Can you chew your water?" I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much." But like, I'd have schools where I'd have to go in there twice a year and do PMs. I'd descale the boiler, and I'd have to pull those nozzles out. And I got to a point where I'd buy a set of nozzles and change the new ones in, and the other ones I'd descale, just leave them down the bottom. When I came back, I'd just flip them. And what I do is when I was descaling the boiler, I just throw them in the bucket with the pump and just let it run in the bucket, just swap them out later. So
yeah,
dude, I hated those because I'd always end up bleeding because I wouldn't wear gloves, and that metal is so sharp back there. It breaks loose, bam.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, but see, I like steamers. There, that's my go-to because I feel like I'm really good at it, and I've done plenty of boiler-based change-out. From Cleveland to Market Forge to Groen, even the old Groen with the tubular tank. You ever seen those? Done some of those.
Yep.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
So then what would be your least favorite thing to work on? Like, what's the one kind of equipment that can ruin your day?
Let's see. A 4-bank steam table with a bunch of grease and refrigeration lines on the bottom you can't get to. And once you open it up, you got to pull the insulation out, and you're itchy for the rest of the day. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That sounds like a very specific unit for a very specific customer. Like you just got triggered with that one.
Yeah, I was triggered. But yeah, steam tables, changing out elements on the steam tables is not. My least favorite.
Yeah, there's a brand out right now that does hot and cold, and it changes those elements. They're actually a sticky pad. There's no way to get in there. You got to drop the condenser unit down, and it's
I
just,
know what you're talking about too.
why do you guys design this like this, man? I'm like, this is stupid.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, what's that? Let's see what's going on in the chat. So I ain't even paying attention to them. They're over there just running away. You got some fans in here. You got Anna Rodriguez. You got who else you got in here? You got Nick Chester.
Oh, Nick! Shout out to Nick.
You got Josie Rodriguez.
That's my family.
That's cool.
That's cool. So, working in Vegas, man, do you work like do you get in like really early in the morning, or do you just work normal hours and just deal with it?
For the most part, it's 7 to 3, but then you have your 24-hour restaurants that you can't get in there until either after 10 or before 6. So, but yeah, for the most part, it's 7 to 3. But once we get a 24-hour restaurant, yeah, we got to go early, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. You think about that city. It's something always going on. It's like how do people get into service and stuff. I mean, I've been there a couple times, and it's an absolute blast. But then you think of it from our side, you're like, man, I feel sorry for the guys to try to come into this place and work in this place. I work in our little big casinos, and it's a pain in the butt. I can't imagine working in some of those casinos that are freaking cities.
Yeah. But see, it's not just the casinos on the strip. There's outskirts of Vegas. Vegas is a big city now. It's a city of almost 2 million people. So there's a lot of local restaurants and national restaurants that are on the outskirts, not just on the strip. So I mean, we have plenty of work out of the strip, off the strip too, that we do. So it's great. And the thing is, Vegas is a small, big city. You can get anywhere in town within half an hour. So I can easily do 4 or 5 calls in a day, in an 8-hour day. So it works out, man.
I'm jealous of that.
I like those type of days.
That's
hustle,
cool.
hustle. Just keep it moving.
Yeah.
There's days that I drive 3 hours between jobs. So.
I know.
Just
3 hours from here, you're in the desert. So that means everything is within an hour or 45 minutes in Vegas. So yeah,
That's nice. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
My first call tomorrow morning is an hour and a half from my house.
Nice. Lucky you.
I'm an hour down. I'm an hour. So my first one tomorrow. I got a no-name combi brand that the customers ripped their third handle off somehow. I don't know how. The manufacturer just keeps paying for it over and over again. I'm like, I know it's like a $60,000, $70,000 combi, but how many free door handles you gonna give them?
Yeah, for real.
Right.
Well, I know all about driving because most of my career is in California. California is a big market. So, I mean, I used to drive. I know about the 3-hour one-way or 3-hour round trip service call that you do. So I don't miss it.
How long have you been in Vegas then?
5 years now.
5 years?
5 years, yes.
What brought you there? Just work or family or?
Family.
Nice.
Yeah, my wife is a Las Vegas born native, so shout out to my wife, Anna. I love you, baby. Yeah.
Bendito.
Yeah. Tú sabes.
I have no idea.
I thought you were gonna say you followed the football team over there or something.
Oh no, none of that. Nah.
That's funny. I just sit here and shake my head and act like I know what you guys are saying.
He's gonna be using that Google Translate later on.
I know, right?
Bendito.
What's going on? Just smile and shake my head. Half the time they're making fun of me and I don't even know it.
No, we're not.
Great. So, what kind of training have you had? I know you work on everything. So, you said you went from bakery to a Sefesa company. Did that Sefesa company just put you in training right away? Did you just ride to somebody, or?
They did. I mean, dude, I work for a company that the actual author, you might know who he is, of the CEPESA exam, was the trainer, and he worked for that company. So I worked there for a few years, and he trained me. He got me my electric CEPESA and my steam CEPESA, and that training was one of the best I've ever had. I'm telling you right now. I went to a lot of manufacturer trainings. There was a lot of seminars that I attended, different manufacturers, Cleveland, Jackson, Garland, Duke, Master, pretty much everything.
So, Adrian está diciendo que tenemos que terminar este episodio en español para que Pat no sepa lo que estamos diciendo.
Díselo, olvídate de eso porque, you know.
Como no soy fluido en el idioma, no puedo, pero.
Sí, el otro día hablando de Pat, and yo fui allí, de Pat, and...
Pat, we're not talking about you.
Adrian's no good.
I've been bothering Adrian all day, so I probably deserved it. Great. So you had the normal training just like everybody else. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's a normal training. I mean, when I was in the bakery side, I had a lot of Lux was a big manufacturer back before Hobart bought them off, and I went to their factory trainings in Seattle. Actually, it was Tacoma, Washington. Spent a week with them building ovens, taking them down. A lot of Baxter before they were bought by Hobart too. So this is old school shit right here I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. I did a revent class. I went to New Jersey.
I went to the revent class in Piscataway. Yeah.
So, you build the oven, you tear it back apart and stuff, and that was a cool class. And
my favorite is that the limo picks you up on the fucking airport, bro.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, right.
One night we took off and we went to the city. We took the train. We went to downtown. We went to Times Square. We were down there like probably way later than we should have been down there, not being from there. But and then came back on the last train back for the night, and it was a blast. But that was a really cool class. And then
that was a cool class, man.
So I've met a lot of people just in this job, this career. I mean, you go to these trainings, and these people, you walk in there, and at first you're like, oh, it's my competition. But then once you're there and you meet the guys, like, oh, they're not my competition. They're my friends. We're all doing the same job. There's plenty of work out there for everybody.
Exactly.
If we put someone out of business, I mean, it's just more work I got to do, and I ain't about that life anymore.
Exactly, man. And that's what I love about this industry, man. Like you said, there's plenty of work for everybody. I mean, we're lacking technicians right now. I mean, we're on a technician deficit. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of work for everybody, man.
That's the reason I did that. I started this just to get out there what we do. I mean,
recruit.
I mean, so many people don't even know this industry exists.
You don't.
Like, you do what? Like, oh, I didn't know it was a job. I was like, man, I make a lot of money doing this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd know a lot of people I knew. Just not even just like other techs, but like people I'd met in restaurants and stuff. I mean, like they're my friends now. Like, we chat on Facebook, we talk outside of work, and I may not even service a restaurant, or they moved on somewhere else, but they're like, hey, I got this oven acting up, what should I do? And I'm like, oh, do this, and this, and if that don't work, call us, or whoever you use for service.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like you said, there's so much work out there. It's just it's not even worth it. It's just get the guys in here, get them trained up, and get them on the way.
I find a lot of camaraderie in the industry, like especially with the social media I do. I've had several times where I'm on a call and somebody else from another company is on a call on something else, and they recognize me, and we start chit-chatting and whatnot, and like you just you click, and then next thing you know, you're changing phone numbers and stuff and calling each other for tech support. Like, it's a great industry overall to be in, but like you said earlier, the problem is nobody knows about it.
Exactly. People sleep on it, bro. People sleep on our industry because they don't know that we make pushing a button and letting the equipment work easy to go out to dinner. And for people who have their food in the hospital or in a hotel, when you get room service, we make that happen, man. It's us.
Yeah, it's like I tell people, and I was talking with a restaurant. I think he's the operator. If not, he's one of the top managers there. And I was telling him, I said, for me, and I've said this before on the show and on my social media, but For me, it's like, people think, oh, what do you do? And if they look at our industry, or a lot of people in our industry are like, well, I fix fryers and I fix walk-in coolers. I'm like, that ain't what I do. What I do is I save restaurants money. I help restaurants make money. I help them keep people employed. Restaurants are places where people go out, families bring their kids, people go on a first date, people get engaged. All these major life events happen at restaurants and other food service establishments. I help that happen. How do I do that? I fix fryers and walk-in coolers. But that ain't what I do. That's how I do what I do.
It's all about perspective, man. You can be, I just fix this, and you're going to be, you can be tech, but when you change your mind to what you really do is when you take more pride in your work, you do a better job. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? The trade is where it's at. I mean, I don't care if it's our industry, you're a plumber, electrician, whatever, man. The trade is where it's at right now. I mean, you can go to college for 6 years and graduate and you'll be in debt for the next 20 years and you'll be working a 9 to 5 in a restaurant as a waiter. Yeah. I mean, you never know if you're going to get hired for what you go to school for. So
yeah, I know more criminal justice grads that are in hospitality.
Psychology.
And realistically, it doesn't take a long time to make big money in this industry if you apply yourself. I think most people, if you apply yourself, within 5 years, you could be making 80 to 100 grand and barely breaking a sweat with the way the market is for technicians right now. If you're willing to dedicate yourself in advance, it is not hard to make big dollars in this industry.
Absolutely.
So Anna brought up a couple of points here. She said, talk about the tech support y'all have. And then she said, love the tech support y'all give each other. Yep. I don't know. You sound like you're probably like us. And if someone calls, you try to help them out no matter what the situation is. I know I've given tech support to people at my company, other companies. Me and Jason, that's how we really kicked it off, start off with. Is, he was asking about some Garland stuff. And I'm going to help anybody out, man. It's just the days of trade secrets are over.
Yeah.
So a lot of these owners don't like what we're doing because they think we're out here stealing techs. I'm not stealing techs, man. There's enough places to work at, and if you're worried about losing guys, maybe you ought to take better care of them or pay them better. I mean,
exactly.
That's just my outlook on that. So,
see, what's cool for me, I had this guy that he had posted. It's been probably a couple years already. He had posted in the one of the Facebook groups like, "Hey, is there somebody out there I could reach out to for tech support, whatever?" So I'm like, "Dude, yeah, DM me. I'll give you my number. Reach out to me." So every kind of regularly, he started like, "Hey, I'm on this unit. It's doing this and this and that." I'd walk him through it. Then a couple weeks later, another unit. Then a good minute went by and I hadn't heard from him. So I just texted him. I'm like, "Hey, bro, you ran across my mind today. Hope everything's good. How's it going?" "Oh man, it's good. Yeah, I haven't reached out to you as much, but I haven't needed you as much anymore." And I'm like, to me, that's cool. He went from regularly contacting me for tech support to, a combination of me helping him plus, his own effort growing. And now he's like, "Yeah, I don't really need you no more." And I'm like, "Yo, that's awesome. Reach out to me again if you're in a jam, feel free to. But the fact that you don't need me anymore, like, that's what I was working towards. I don't want you to be dependent on me. I want you to learn. I want you to grow. I want to teach you how to fix stuff. I don't want to just point you to the solution. I'm not going to be like, the problem is this. I'm going to be like, hey, okay, well, what's going on here? What's going on there? And help you kind of circle around to, help you find the conclusion instead of just feeding it to you.
Correct.
Yeah, that's my style. I will ask questions as if I was there looking at it. So you get the answers yourself.
Think about it.
And most of the time, people will never call me back and like, yeah, I knew what it was. I won't give you answers unless it's just like, we're crazy busy, we're stupid, and I just got to get you on to the next one, but I'll give you the answer. Most of the time, I'm going to lead you to it. So,
well, you know what? I think tech support is great. I think it's the new senior tech position. Mm-hmm. You have your senior tech that can't like your the past. What was her name? Amanda, the General Parks girl. Yep. She said you can't get behind a fryer in 15 years. When you're 55, you can't bend down and pick up heavy shit. Go to tech support. Mm-hmm. You have all the knowledge. You can put a senior tech in tech support, and he can do that for 8 hours.
Yep, I fully agree. They just got to be able to communicate and not, because some guys can't communicate worth a damn.
They can. When you have tech support and you have a live feed, or like a FaceTime. You know, you can see what they're doing and
Yeah.
you can kind of guide them. You know,
Yeah, there's some stuff we're going to talk to in the future. The company does some stuff like that, so we bring stuff out like that just to show it off. So,
Right.
so Nick says, ask Omar what his best practices are with work order notes. This guy's meticulously every time. So, sounds like you'd fit right in here.
Technical storytelling. Yeah, break it down for us.
Yeah, that's my pet peeve, man. I like to break it down when it comes to narrative. You're writing a story, man. You're pretty much putting in all your details of everything. You can't just say, "Oh, fixed unit," and just walk away. You know, you can't do that. You gotta put in your amp draws and your microamps and your microfarads if you have to, and all details. There's never enough details, man. You gotta write a book.
I was explaining that to someone earlier. I mean, I'm not even going that far into the details of those things, but coming up on a unit and just saying, you know, it's not cooling. Oh, drain line was clogged. Clear drain line working now. So my team might have did a PM on it like a month earlier. So automatically it turns into a callback for our department. So I'm like, call the tech up. I'm like, so was the evaporator frozen because the pan was full? Was the switch tripped and it stopped running? Like how did you clear the drain line, bring the temperature down? And just crickets, no explanation. I'm just like, man, I'm like, come on, we got to tell a story here. What did you find? I mean, there's a lot more to this than you cleared a drain line. Like, what did you really do? You know?
Let me ask y'all this, like on this subject. Like, do y'all think maybe a lot of these crappy notes are actually because the technician either doesn't actually know, properly how to do service procedures, or maybe they just don't, I don't know, they don't have like a clear understanding? Because like recently I've gone behind people and I've seen their notes and I've been like, what? And then I call them and I'm like, yo, what did you do? And then when they start trying to explain it to me, I'm like, what? So like, do you think there's just a correlation between people not really knowing what they're doing and they're just trying to do the notes the best they can? Or what do y'all think is the main thing behind, crappy notes?
I think it's a lot of things. And I think some people find other issues. And in my opinion, because I find out that somebody said, leaky Schrader valve or drain line. And sometimes, it was low on charge, but they want to charge it up, not do a leak check or anything. And then they want to say that they found something else and they can be on their way to the next call. And then it's someone else's problem. It's not a callback when it comes back as low charge again, because that's not what they were there for. I've seen that over the years researching all the notes. That's just an outlier, but I've seen where people try to cover their butts, or I think just in general, trying to get as many calls in or take it easy. Like, okay, this is something simple. I want to gas and go. But yeah, there's a number of things, and competency, when you read their notes and then when you call them out, normally they get pretty frustrated pretty quickly with you questioning them. So it could be and Brian Sanders said laziness. Yeah, that's a big one, but I don't want to say everyone's like that, but I've just in it long enough and read notes long enough and communicated with people and asked them, what was your thought process behind this? And then their reaction says a lot, So, yeah, it's hard to assign motive to some people, and I think it has a lot to do with what what your competency is and what you're comfortable in. And if you're trying to skate by, or if you really know what you're talking about, you'd be more than happy to really put your knowledge out there and cover your butt and cover the company. Because when you're not articulating what's going on, not only are you not covering your own butt, you're not covering the company's butt, and we're all going to lose out there. What Adrian said?
Back in the day, you just hated handwriting a novel. Oh yeah, dude, we have been paperless for a long time. Talk to text. You can do it, but you gotta go back and make sure you read it, because it'll mess up a bunch, especially if you talk really fast or mumble like I do sometimes. So I thought about getting like a Bluetooth keyboard and just like doing that. I just haven't done it. If it's something really bad, if I did like a huge job, there's a lot of intricate parts, or if it's like an overnight job, a lot of times I'll go home and I'll actually write it on an email on my computer and email it to myself and copy and paste it out of the email to the call.
There you go.
Yeah. See, what I'll do is if it's a like something that's very involved, I'll take out my iPad and then in the notes app, I'll start doing the notes. Like at every certain point, I'll be like, okay, arrived and found blah, 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 blah. Okay, then I keep working. All right, changed, blah, 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 tested, blah, 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 blah. Readings was blah, 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 blah. That way I don't forget what I did when I'm actually trying to put the notes on the service ticket.
Yeah, see, that's one of my favorite parts of the job is documenting my work. I'm pretty good at remembering what I did, and I can write a story, man. If I could write a 3-page invoice, I would, but I keep it short. But it's in good detail. So that's one of my best features.
I think when I read someone's notes, I should really be able to envision that I'm standing there and doing the work, and I should be able to agree with your diagnosis and not say, "Well, this is going to come back,"
right.
And that's why I read notes. That's I log in to different tickets and different people, and I just read it just to read it, not to give them any shit, but just to kind of have an understanding of what their understanding is, and I try to show give professional courtesy and maybe talk to their manager and be like, hey, this is something you can work on with them. It's some people just don't know, it's not a penmanship thing or a grammar thing. It's just,
right.
If you can explain what you're doing in person, I'm not a grammar Nazi. It's just, you should be able to explain in your notes, and it doesn't have to be crazy detailed, but the customer should understand what you're talking about. Billing should be able to understand what you're talking about, and other technicians who follow behind you should know what you're talking about, and it should really make sense.
True.
See, that's the thing though, because one of my coworkers, and he's in the chat there. If I call him and like, yo, what did you do? He will break down every single thing that he did without a problem for me. But his notes, typing them out, he just, for whatever reason, it just doesn't come out like the way it's in his head. Does not come out on paper for some reason, and I don't know what that is. I mean, if it was up to him, all his notes would say "found, broke, fixed it." But if I call him like, "Yo, what exactly did you do?" He'll break me down step by step. If you look in the chat there, the guy Ray Beals, he made a comment there. He said that he's illiterate and can't put what he wants to say in his head in his notes.
Bendito. Who needs friends like you, man?
Dude, I try to training.
Yo, you should be a therapist, Rich.
You know what? I also feel like when you do ride-alongs, the paperwork part should be a big part of the training. So that should be absolutely.
Here's my tablet.
Yeah, you do it.
Yeah, you do it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I had a guy that said he could fix anything in the world, man, and he wrote me like his notes were he couldn't fix anything in the world. That's just what he said. Couldn't find out it wasn't nowhere near what he actually did. But he'd write the notes and it'd be like absolute garbage. I just delete it, hand it back to him, like try again. Eventually, he figured out what I was doing. And he started writing better notes. I'm like, dude, what do we do here? Oh, it had a bad high limit, so we changed it. I'm like, you're gonna rent that up ticket? Well, that's what we did. Well, we did a little more than that. We're going to have to justify why we were here 3 hours. Found bad high limit, replace it. Doesn't justify 3 hours.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, especially when it's excessive, you need to detail everything you did.
Yeah.
You got to put it in writing so that somebody in billing that doesn't know how to do our job doesn't call you 3 months later when the manufacturer, owner, business owner kicks it back.
Yeah, and the warranty's like, nah.
I'm answering Nick's question. Voice dictation for work orders. I think it's great. It's a good feature to use if you're using a tablet or an iPhone or whatever it is. I think it's great. But I feel like when I use that, I gotta go back and fix my grammar or my spelling. So, but it's great. I think it's great. It helps out a lot.
Yeah, I haven't used it most of the time. I just, like Rich said, I start with my notes. I just like if I get to a point where I gotta wait on something, I just bring my app up and I start putting notes in, and then I save it and make sure I refresh it so it saves, and I go back to working. And then if I get in there break again, I add some more in. I just kind of go as I work, and then I generally do pretty good. So,
somebody was talking about, aside from the talk to text, and that's one thing because we use it all day. But there's actually, I saw a clip about Blue On. And I forwarded it to a few people and I shared it on my Instagram story. And then an owner of a service company from Georgia reached out to me today to say that he actually uses it, and they like using that AI talk to text because it does a better job of the dictation and the way that the sentences are they're put together. But there's a few AIs out there that I'm looking at that I'm hoping to get my hands on to try out with that aspect. And I'm not sure how integrated it'll be in our system. But I mean, even if I could just have it on my phone, that I can copy paste it, because I have GE on my phone or RFS. So
Cool.
What software?
I don't know if you guys use AI. Not everyone talks about it. So just wanted to
We
bring it
do.
up.
We use it.
Okay, cool.
So Nick says great work order notes not only add a ton of assurance to the customer, but also to the support teams, billing teams, and the next tech working on that. Yeah. Generally, we don't have other guys hang other guys' parts, and when we do, I never really read the notes. I just start over from fresh and bring parts with me. But yeah, you gotta have those notes to back up what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
So Jesse Sinus says, my notes are always novels. I'd like having job notes that the customer can read, but there's a separate tab for manager notes that no one in the office checked. So us techs would put info in there for the text in that spot. Like this mod is taking
This is a novel now.
Yeah, right.
So
I dig it, Lee.
I think you used to work for us. I don't know if you still do, but yeah, that spot is now visible if it's third party and certain customers. So that spot is no longer good to write manager as a dick.
Did y'all get that? I think there was a company-wide email. I don't know if it was just my company or if it was all of our companies about the notes that don't need to be included.
And then someone screenshot and put it in one of the groups with her email address and phone number on it.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. So that's real good. So, but yeah, that note section now is visible to a lot of people. So we can't.
Did that happen with an update and they didn't tell everyone? Because you told, like, we do customer notes is service notes, and then office notes are bill notes, and you guys said that's opposite for you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like something that needs to be put out there before someone says something.
Well, I guess they go on the website. It wasn't like sent to them in an email or like with the bill, but like if they go on the website and look at like the work order or whatever on the website, it showed it all. Like there was no way to filter it out on the website. So someone got on the website and looked at the work order, and it showed like both sections of notes and put some unsavory stuff in there. I'm not sure what it was. I just heard it was unsavory, so I just left it.
Was it about the customer? The notes were okay. Because at first I kind of thought that email was about some notes I put in regards to some coworkers that I went behind.
You went there, huh? You're like, I probably did.
Dude, I had lost it one day, and I was like, this whatever constantly does whatever. Yeah, I was done. And then like 3 days later, that email was sent out, and my coworkers that know me were like, "This was your fault, wasn't it?"
Yeah, it always seems like every time I do something like that, it pops up like a couple days later, company wide. I'm like, is this because of me?
Did I do that?
I try to chill on that stuff. Some days you just gotta do it, man. You just gotta do it. Sweet. All right. So what we got in the chat? Yeah. Guys are just talking, hanging out.
We got Adrian trying to get me in trouble down there.
There's quite a bit on LinkedIn, actually. Quite a bit.
Yeah, LinkedIn. I think a lot of those are followers that Omar come over.
Yeah, Omar's fam came out strong. Omar,
like
that's what's up.
1,000 followers right now. I don't know how it got so big, man. I've been putting out content since like 2006, man. So it's great.
Really?
Oh wow.
Nice. I think I just found you on LinkedIn, and then you just kept popping up on my Facebook, people you know, and I was like, I'll send him a friend request, see if he accepts it.
That's that algorithm, man.
Yeah. So I sent you a friend request, and I like the stuff you do. I mean, you're doing cool stuff, dude. Like I said, you never know what you're going to show. One day you're showing combi ovens, bakery ovens, tearing apart a mixer. Do you do dish machines as well then, or?
I love dish machines. That's my second favorite, dude. That's
Yeah, I love even the Hobart. Like no one in my branch, like a Hobart call comes in, and my manager's like, turn it away. I'm like, no, don't turn it away. Give it to me.
Dude, I can't do nothing but for Hobart. I can only do an AM 15 and AM 14. That's all I know how to do. Steak and shake stuff.
I do all of it. I do the dumping fields. I do the flight machines, the conveyor of them.
Yeah, the one with the little conveyors. I'm just like, oh Lord, this thing's more than meets the eye.
So Jason needs to do a flight machine where it's just got a bunch of fingers and it just drags everything through.
And, normally it's just like some sort of flotation device inside that's messed up, or contactor. From just my limited experience with those old AMs, the heating element. I love getting that call. The dishwasher's on fire. It's like, how is that an oxymoron? Like what? So yeah, if it drains too quickly and all the food that's stuck to it smells like it's burning, I'm like, did you see flames? I love asking those questions. Like, did you see fire? They're like, yeah, I seen fire. I'm like, okay, I'll be there in a second.
This machine video actually boiling water.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
The customer like, our dishes aren't drying. Like our temperatures are great. I'm like, I get there and like the wash temp's at 209. I was like, no way. And I opened it up and I'm like, there's steam everywhere. I was like, okay. Yeah. And I pulled the cover off the water tank. I was like,
somebody,
it's boiling. I was like, no wonder it's drying.
Holy crap.
Yeah. It was pretty great. So we got Scott Westbrook in here. He's with AutoSham. He says he's going to start spot checking our notes on some warranty claims. And see
shots fired. Shots fired.
Scott's going to be
shots fired. He's going
to be denying warranty claims. Good thing. Rich, I don't know if he does your area. I know it's the Northeast, but I don't think he gets down as far as you. So we may be all right.
We need
just blame it on the younger techs, man.
Oh
yeah.
We need
anything I do wrong is my trainee's fault. I need a new trainee though.
Yeah. We've got a couple. Like my son's pretty much on his own all the time now, unless like we get slow and they want me to show him something in particular. Like he's getting a good AutoSham class coming up in the first year. So when we slow down, he's gonna start running some AutoSham calls with me, so he doesn't go in there blind. And some stuff like that. But he's out there on his own. He's killing it. 21 years old, got a house, car, fiance. Nice. His friends are still in school, and he's making pretty good money. I mean,
that's the American dream right there, buddy.
If he works overtime, he could be pretty close to 6 figures if he put the time in. I mean, just it's all about what he wants and what he wants to do. Like, so this week we got to do an overnight job tomorrow night. He wants to work all day tomorrow and then into tomorrow night. It's not a very long one. We just got to swap ovens. And so Call of Duty comes out tomorrow night, midnight. So he wants to work all day, work the overnight job tomorrow night, and then
man, he's angry. He's hungry for that overtime.
Yeah, but he wants to stay. Yeah. He don't want to work Friday. He wants to stay home Friday all day playing Call of Duty.
Play Call of Duty.
So I think I got to talk to him to doing. I got a brand new Culvers. We're swapping out a bank of 4 brand new fryers. The new bank showed up today. I got to change all the pilot assemblies, all the ignition modules, and then go take it out to this location and swap it out. So I got 6 hours worth of work to do it before I can even install.
What's wrong with the fryer? Why's it got to be swapped out like that?
I don't know. They've had some issues. They've had quite a few calls. It's at a Culver's. They've had quite a few calls on this fryer. They had some supplier issues on the pilot assemblies, and they changed a different ignition module. And then, so it's been a lot of warranty work, but I think it's only been like 2 or 3 calls on there. A competitor, actually, I'll be nice because one of their employees is here. Changed the pilot assemblies, and they broke one of the spark wires, and they just like jammed it back up on there real hard to start working, so they left it.
That's nice.
Yeah,
quality.
Well, there's bad techs everywhere. I mean, I get it. I'm not knocking. I just feel like poking a little fun at Omar because he's here. So, there's crappy techs everywhere. But I mean, I don't know why they're changing it. Man, it hasn't been that big of an issue. But the problem is they're calling us and Smart Care, so it's like and no one knows what the other guy's doing. We change it.
Whoever shows up first.
Dude.
I mean, I know. If it's within my company, I know what they're doing because I could read their notes. I can go back in the history. But if it's a competitor or another company, I can't.
That's the bad thing when they do that, man. Who shows up first? You get there and like, oh, this part's been changed. And I look in the history. I'm like, well, we didn't change it. Who changed this? Like, you guys are the only one who worked on it. I'm like, no, we're not. I I talked to one of my coworkers. He's like, no, I talked to so and so at Smart Care, and they worked on it, did this, and this. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I try to tell customers sometimes, like, and I know this one's under warranty, but when it's an end user, I'm like, I don't care if you call us or somebody else, just pick one, because that's exactly what happens. He did this, that, and the other. I have no idea what he did. Then I'm probably redoing half of what he did just to figure out what the first problem was to begin with. But just pick one of us and stick with it.
True.
Scott says he's everywhere. Come on up.
That's kind of creepy, Scott.
Come on up, teach a class. Actually, I'll come out to your place and you can teach a class and we can go hunt. How about that? All right, man. Well, it's been almost an hour. I won't keep you much longer. It's pretty early in your night. We're a little later over here, but
yeah, it's only 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock here. Not even.
I haven't taken my sleeping pills yet.
I appreciate you coming on, taking time. I don't know if you had to get off early or what to get here, but I appreciate you coming on and just telling your story. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really inspired by all the stuff you work on and all the following you have. So keep it up, dude. You want to tell everybody where they can find you at if they want to find you on LinkedIn or whatever.
What I do, it's a passion. I really love the industry. It's what I do. What do I know? And I'm going to retire in this industry. So, I love it. You can find me on LinkedIn.com, Omar Rodriguez, Facebook, same name, Instagram, same name. Yeah, I'm always posting content. So if you want to follow me, hit me up.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you for everything you do, Omar, man. It is very inspiring.
And
And the way you show it is very detailed, and you're not out there playing games. You're out there showing some really good craftsmanship. So we really do appreciate what your contribution is.
Hey, shout out to the whole Smart Care team in the Phoenix market, Las Vegas market. Shout out to my wife Anna. She supports me all the way. My mother-in-law, Big Perm. I love you. Hey.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
You too.
See you.
Bye.
If you guys would, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the podcast. It really helps us grow and helps us know which direction to move in. Also, if you have any suggestions for guests, please email me at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a guest, email me. Love to have you guys on. Thanks a lot. See you next week.